FIFA is entering the blockchain business and is now building its own layer 1. The whole thing is happening via an Avalanche subnet, and this caused the Avax price to rise. What all this means and what they have planned, everything here in the video. Hey, and welcome to Crypto Owl. Yesterday's news of the day, FIFA. Yes, you heard that right. FIFA, the Football World Cup. FIFA is building its own layer 1 blockchain for Web3, its own NFTs, and much, much more. The whole thing is happening via an Avalanche subnet. Those were the big news yesterday, and as you can imagine, this caused the Avalanche price, or rather the Avax price, to rise. We always start with the market update, and that's the case here as well. This news pushed the price up, and it was truly unique. They posted it again here, and I also made a short post about it yesterday. Yesterday, just a very short tweet, and the price jumped up by about 10%. Yes, and usually that's the kind of news where you say, yes, now I'm going long, but as you can see, I haven't done anything. I didn't go long here. In fact, the trades aren't going so well here at the moment. I didn't go long here. So, there actually could have been good profits, and it really was a no-brainer to open a long position there, but I was working on the pool so that we can soon do updates from the pool, but I still have to work on the diving platform. So a long position definitely would have paid off there, and overall, this is huge news because you have to consider that FIFA is actually very conservative. They're not exactly open to new things, especially when it comes to money. Just think about the host countries, where Sharia law applies, there's no alcohol, and for many people, alcohol and football just go together. And in the end, money rules at FIFA. We all know that. Corruption scandals, accusations, and so on. We're all familiar with that. And now they're taking the next step, namely towards Web3 and tickets with NFTs. And for many people, it's like, yeah, so they're just making NFTs, but it's more than that. And that's what we're going to look at now. Here we can also see the FIFA announcement at an event, specifically at the Avalanche Summit, which took place. It's actually really interesting what they're planning there. Basically, they're building their own blockchain on Avalanche, and they want to prepare football fandom. So they want to build football fandom. That's what they want to call it. What all of this means and what they're planning, I've written down. So if you're not following me on X yet, you should, because that's where you'll find these info tweets. And you could even skip the video if you'd rather read. What does FIFA want with its own Avalanche blockchain? With FIFA Collect, they've already shown in their first integration what's possible with NFTs, and these are already live. Let's take a much closer look. FIFA Collect is, in fact, their own platform for connecting with the digital world, because they want to become increasingly more and more digital. There were major rumors that even their trading cards, which are available from many different providers, would be completely digitized and released as NFTs. Yes, you have to be careful with that. That could certainly happen. There are already the first, let's say, steps in that direction, but I think there's still a long way to go. This is what it all looks like. Because here, with the FIFA World Cup 2025, well, this year it's still the FIFA Club World Cup, and it will take place at various venues. You can already get NFT tickets. And there are weekdays, meaning a weekday in the different cities. So you see it's already starting, namely with the weekday edition, Choose Your City. It's already moving completely in this direction. And here there are these FIFA Collect items. For example, I'm not even sure, it was some kind of surprise box. Honestly, I haven't really looked into what all they have here, but you can see things like jersey cards, and this edition was completely sold out in less than 10 hours. So you can see they are already very active in this area. Yes, and now they want to take further steps in this direction so that there will be even more possibilities here. So what can you already do with these NFTs? This RTB, which is coming up now, we've already seen it just now. Namely, buy certified digital collectibles, earn right to buy access for tickets to the 2026 FIFA World Cup and the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup, as we just saw. Trade them, collect them, and you can participate in cross-platform challenges if you're a part of all this. Wow. I mean, that's pretty crazy, isn't it? They have big plans like having digital tickets. I mean, anyone who uses Ticketmaster, for example, and buys a concert ticket, like my Linkin Park ticket for this year, that's completely digital. So my cousin handled that. He got 4 QR codes for us, and I don't have anything physical in my hand. I have other tickets that are hanging here on my wall or down on our big collection wall, but with this, you don't have anything tangible anymore. Of course, it has its advantages because you always have your smartphone with you and you can just scan your ticket with the QR code. No more, I left it at home. But I have a photo. Can I still get in? Like I said, it has its advantages, but of course, it also has its drawbacks. A lot of people still say, if I lose my phone, will I still be able to access it? So again, it comes down to personal responsibility. We also know that, for example, hardware wallet manufacturer Tangem is working on making it possible for NFTs to be displayed in the app via the Tangem card. So with the hardware wallet, you have access to your wallet, whether your phone is lost or not. You don't know Tangem? Check it out here. Get 10% off with the code CryptoEuler. It's worth taking a look at the simplest hardware wallet. Of course, these are all options that interest many companies involved with tickets, as well as many others who, let's say, are taking completely different approaches. Maybe you've heard about this. In Sweden, or rather in Scandinavia, there are clubs that give their regular customers chips, which are either implanted under the skin here or in the earlobe. I've seen that too. A very small chip is implanted in your earlobe. Then you can use it to scan yourself in for entry or even to pay. It's crazy what is possible these days. And here, in the end, it all works via the blockchain with NFTs, or rather with your own self-custodied wallet, so that you have NFTs, tickets, or these collectible items. And these collectibles, as I said, you can use them to create collections, but also for challenges. So these collectibles are your ticket to a challenge, and this challenge gives you additional rewards. That means you might be able to earn tickets for the next few years with just a few collectibles if you're good at the challenges. Anything is possible, but with this, FIFA already has everyone on board as users. And the people who are invested in this collection or who are interested in such tickets can always be contacted directly, for example, via the wallet or the registered email, which you'll probably have an account for as well. So there's still some Web 2 involved, even though it's actually moving in the Web 3 direction. Or soon you'll be able to connect entirely with your wallet, which I think is where things are headed. So you can connect directly to the platform with your wallet and won't need any login credentials anymore. So what you will build here in your own future will be exciting. And as I said, now they have their own layer 1 on Avalanche, and that caused the Avax price to shoot up. I've already shown you that. If you say you want to trade here too, and maybe even do better than my red trades here, then check out Blowfin. It's KYC free, and you can also trade Avalanche long or short here. Buy and trade cryptocurrencies on Blowfin, whether in your browser or in their own app. By signing up with Blowfin, you get access to over 500 cryptocurrencies on spot and another 800 through futures trading. You can even try copy trading, trading bots, or demo trading here to see if you can make a profit. Blowfin and CryptoEuler are celebrating a partnership, and to mark the occasion, you'll get 20% cashback on your first deposit. This is limited to $500 and only for the first users until May 31st. So signing up and making a deposit could be doubly rewarding here. Depositing euros and receiving cryptocurrencies is very easy with their partners, such as Simplex and others. But other currencies are also available here. In addition to their reward hub, where you can earn extra rewards, you can also generate passive income in the earn section, either flexibly or locked in for example, 180 days, such as here, 2.56% on USDT. Check out the fastest growing crypto exchange of the past 3 years and get an additional 20% cashback. Remember, this whole offer is limited, and now they're taking it a step further, namely with their own layer 1 blockchain via the Avalanche subnet. This dedicated blockchain was developed by Motex Tech. And this is very, very important because many people will say, oh, so they have an NFT platform where I can buy NFTs. No, it is not a pure NFT platform. It is its own layer 1 blockchain, and this is something completely new and a step beyond just a simple NFT platform. This is a sports-specific chain, optimized for ticket sales, challenges, and collections. The chain is supported by wallet providers such as the Core app, which, by the way, has changed its logo. Where did the owl go? Hello, where did the owl go? And MetaMask is supported as well. So that means the major well-known wallet providers like MetaMask are supported, but since it's also a layer 1 blockchain built on the Avalanche network, they have already integrated EVM, the Ethereum virtual machine, here. So that means, although they are not on Ethereum and don't have the expensive transaction fees or, let's say, the somewhat slower transaction times, they are on Avalanche, can still take full advantage of Ethereum and benefit from faster transaction times. Plus, with their own currency, which they can create, and we'll get to that in a moment, they are also completely flexible. So for example, you could also bridge assets from Avalanche to Ethereum, Polygon, or wherever else, as long as it's available there. But theoretically, the access and the possibility are available right away. So that means you immediately have many advantages here. Even if you're not on Ethereum, you're still compatible with the Ethereum virtual machine, which Avalanche has supported or built in from the very beginning. And thanks to its own layer 1 on Avalanche, FIFA has the following advantages. Fast finality. That means the transaction is finalized on the blockchain, or in other words, the block is closed. The transaction is included, and then you have your assets in your wallet. So fast transaction times and quick finality for the blockchain so that it's written into the blockchain quickly. Full control over fees and upgrades. That's also what's important about having your own subnet. They can set their own fees. So they can say, for example, all right, we have a fee structure that charges 1 cent per transaction. But you can also design the fee structure a bit differently, and depending on what's happening, the price will naturally rise or fall. So it will be very interesting to see whether they might even go so far as to offer free transactions. But then the big question is, should there even be nodes here, or will enough nodes join this subnet to support the whole thing? Because you can't earn anything here. So there actually have to be fees in order to make the subnet more decentralized or to connect more nodes. Yes, it gets quite technical again, but for anyone who's interested, I've explained subnets several times here on the channel. That's why it's relatively easy for me to talk about this, since I've been following subnets and Avalanche for quite some time. So go ahead and check out this video here. You can learn even more about subnets if you're interested in the technical details and their own framework. So in this area, you can do whatever you want. It's your blockchain, even though it actually runs on Avalanche, but it's a subnet. And these subnets are their own layer 1. So technically, it's a bit difficult to explain, but it is its own layer 1. You can do whatever you want. And on this, you can even actually scale. That means you can continue to expand the whole thing. As I just said, if you have a good fee structure so that the nodes also earn something, many nodes will join. And if there are many nodes, you can of course expand the network much further, create your own structures, whether it's fees or your own currency. For example, you can now also pay with stablecoins. We'll get to that in a moment. So it's not necessarily Avax. That's very, very important. And I think the market understood that later on as well. This step will change the ticketing world and the fan experience and bring it closer to Web3. As I said, if there are still things like login data, email address and password and so on, then it's still Web 2. But when it goes in the direction where, for example, you connect with your own wallet, whether it's a hardware wallet, MetaMask, Core app, or whatever, when you connect with that, then you're in Web 3 and you're responsible for yourself. Whether you have 12 or 24 words, you have to take care of them. And I'm still shocked by the fact that around 80% of all crypto users still don't have a hardware wallet. Hello, there are such simple hardware wallets, check them out. Because I think with just my MetaMask app on my phone, you're not secure. A hacker who gains access or hacks in and you click on the wrong link, the wallet can be emptied so quickly if it's not secured with a hardware wallet. That's why it's so important. Even if you say Tangle isn't for you, then check out Ledger. I also have a link for Ledger below, check it all out. These wallets are so simple and you can connect them so easily nowadays. It used to be more difficult, but now it's very, very easy. And it's very important to note that this doesn't mean FIFA has to use the Avax token or the Avax cryptocurrency. On their own subnet, they can decide for themselves which cryptocurrency is used for transactions. They can create their own cryptocurrency, they can create their own tokens, they can create their own NFTs, they can do everything themselves. And that's what's special about these layer 1 subnets. They can create whatever is possible here themselves. Yes, the nodes are operated, or rather, if you want to start a node, you need to have Avax, no question about it. But on this dedicated subnet, their own rules apply. And FIFA can set these rules themselves, and that's a huge advantage. In the past, many people said Polkadot was the thing. Everyone builds their own parachain there, and you can rent it for 2 or 3 years, do some development, and if things go well after 2 years, you extend the lease, everything's cool. That didn't really catch on. Years of development time, and by the time they were finished, they were no longer up to date. Then there's Cosmos, the Cosmos SDK. A lot of people said, that's the thing, my own blockchain toolkit. What do I build with it? This, that, bam, bam, bam. I build my own Cosmos SDK and run in this Cosmos universe. But that didn't really catch on either, did it? Do you know any big, well-known Cosmos projects? That's difficult. Avalanche has taken the step where these subnets, which were originally conceived as layer 2s and everything still ran through Avalanche, are now their own layer 1s, and anyone can build whatever they want on them. And all Avalanche nodes can simply connect to the subnets. And that is really, really exciting. That's exactly what FIFA has done here, and they're now moving in this direction, saying Avalanche is our blockchain, or rather, FIFA blockchain built on Avalanche. That's what it all looks like. There's also an impressive article about it. In my opinion, I've written down the most important information about it. Here, it's explained in a bit more detail, so if you want to read through the whole thing, it's in English. With the Brave browser, you can easily translate the whole thing into German, just like I did here. If you want it in German and want to read through it here, you'll of course find the link to it in the video description, just like all the information I always present to you here. Wow, that's some news, isn't it? What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments. FIFA, their own blockchain. Will all tickets soon be NFTs? Would you buy a collection? So, I'm really interested in what you think about it. For now, I'm very curious about this news because with FIFA, even though they've already moved in this direction with the first NFTs and collections, I honestly didn't think it would actually happen or that it would happen on this scale with their own layer 1. The fact that it's a subnet of Avalanche makes perfect sense because it has many, many advantages, which I've just explained. And now, of course, the big question is whether there might even be their own cryptocurrency, which I can't really imagine, because then you'd have all the usual accusations of corruption, scams, and fraud. You know how it goes. That's why I think it's more likely that they'll work with a stablecoin. And that would, of course, be very, very exciting also for the respective stablecoin, since they could then say, we have a FIFA partnership, and only with our stablecoin can you pay, cover transaction fees, and so on FIFA's Avalanche subnet. I'm really curious to see what will happen. In the end, it will come down to the stablecoin. You can easily exchange it, for example, from euros to USDC. USDC is also working closely with Avalanche, so I would bet that it will be USDC, especially considering the regulatory issues that Tether is facing. So, USDC on the FIFA blockchain as the transaction fee and as the main cryptocurrency. I'm really curious to see what's coming. So, write in the comments what you think about the blockchain and which cryptocurrency you believe will be the main currency on this FIFA blockchain. We can be very excited for when it all starts and everyone can use it. And we will definitely report on it here in that sense. Thank you very much for watching and see you in the next video.
You